Hi guys, it's Omer from MMOs.com, another quick news recap of all major MMO news, and announced at the week ending March 4th, 2019. This is episode number 189 of the recap, and the first of news this week comes from NCSoft regarding Blade and Soul. The game announced its next big update titled Legacy of the Hung Moon Clan, and is set to launch on March 13th, 2019, and is a big update. I say big update because they'll be increasing the game's level cap to 60, as well as introducing all new class specializations, new dungeons, new enemies, the Lin Warden, and more. Interestingly, to celebrate the occasion, NCSoft is giving away special Legacy of the Hung Moon packs to anyone who registers on their official website, and these packs actually contain a bunch of special items, including a free level 60 boost. This is the first time I've seen a game increase its level cap, and at the same time give away free boost to that new cap, which is definitely interesting. If you haven't played Blade and Soul yet, now's a great time to check it out, especially with these new free boosts. Along with Terra and Black Desert, it's really the only persistent world action MMORPG out there. Next, Square Enix announced a free-to-play version of Dissidia Final Fantasy NT, which is launching on the PC and PS4 on March 12th, 2019, which is next Wednesday. Dissidia Final Fantasy, for those that don't know, is a 3v3 arena brawler-like game, so not your typical Final Fantasy title. Think maybe Battle Right, but with 3D environments, if that makes sense. The free-to-play version will feature a rotating roster of free characters, with weapons and characters available for permanent purchase, so there will obviously be microtransactions. The free-to-play server will also share servers with the paid version, which should be a win for everyone because everybody gets faster queues. But yeah, this one's launching on March 12th, and I plan to give it a try. Next up, the Lord of the Rings Online announced that its Legendary server, which is a fancy way of saying Progression server, will be launching its first major expansion, the Mines of Moria, sometime this month in March. It's a big update for the game and will increase the level cap to 60, as well as introduce 12 new areas to the game, as well as add 2 new classes, the Warden and Runekeeper. Remember though, this isn't anything new for the official Lord of the Rings Online servers, it's just the first major expansion that's finally hitting their Progression servers. And to play on the Progression servers though, you will need an active VIP subscription, or be a lifetime subscription holder. While Mines of Moria is just the first major expansion on here, it won't be the last. Expect more Legendary server expansions in the near future. And speaking of older MMORPGs, Dungeons & Dragons Online is turning 13 years old, and to celebrate the event, they're giving away a bunch of freebies through various in-game events, and also officially opening up pre-orders for the game's upcoming Sharn expansion later this month, which they teased via a new 6-second video. Yes, only 6 seconds. The expansion itself will launch sometime in the spring, but pre-orders should be opening up later this month. DDO was one of the first big Western free-to-play MMORPGs to adopt the free-to-play model, and after all these years, the game is still going fairly strong. And speaking of Western developed games, Elder Scrolls Online launched their Wrathstone DLC this last week, which introduces 2 new dungeons to the game, Depths of Malethar and Frostvault. These new dungeons unveil the first part of the Season of the Dragon storyline, which will be a big theme in the game's upcoming expansion titled Elsewhere. As always, the DLC is free to ESO Plus subscribers and available for sale in the game's Crown Store for everyone else. Update 21 also launched, which is a free update to the game, which includes new racial passives, a new battleground map, new guild trader UI, new zone guide, and more. As always, the base updates are free for everyone, but the individual DLCs and expansions always do cost money. Next up, on the Eastern Front, MapleStory just announced a new update which is set to launch in 2 days on March 6th, titled Arcade Adventures, which has players exploring a special new 8-bit world. While it's dubbed an update, it's more of an event rather than anything else because it begins on March 6th and runs until March 9th. It'll be open to anyone level 61 or higher, which in a post-Big Bang MapleStory world is basically everyone who played for at least 20 minutes. The game also has a new level 175 themed dungeon for higher level players, and is also hosting a bunch of in-game events alongside this Retro Arcade Adventures update. MapleStory is one of those games that always has a bunch of in-game events happening pretty much all the time, which I think is actually a pretty good feature. Speaking of Nexon and MapleStory, we do have a bit of industry news. Remember how Nexon was up for sale and I speculated that Tencent would end up buying them? Well, the company isn't sold yet, but it seems like there's a bidding war brewing between 4 parties actually. The first being Netmarble and Kakao Games, which are backed by Tencent. The second being Amazon, the third being Electronic Arts, and the fourth being Comcast. Yes, apparently Comcast is interested in Nexon. I'm curious to see who ends up buying Nexon. My money is still on Tencent and their partners Netmarble and Kakao, but we'll have to wait and see. Up next, Warframe launched the Wolf of Saturn 6 Episode 1 update on the PC, Xbox One, and PS4 all at the same time this last week. The update introduces new challenges, catalysts, and former bundles, along with new gear, cosmetics, and more. The update also included some in-game optimizations, which helps the game run even smoother than it did before, which is impressive because Warframe already runs really well. Warframe also remains one of the most popular Western-developed free-to-play games in the world, averaging about 50,000 or so players on Steam alone. Next up, Ubisoft's The Division 2 launched their open beta test this last Friday and is preparing an official release on March 15th. The open beta ends today on March 4th, and after that you'll need to buy the game to play it. The test included 3 specializations, 4 PvP skirmishes, and an endgame mission. Given how poorly Anthem was received, the stakes are high for Ubisoft to see if they can deliver. Obviously different companies, different games, but both are shooters with some RPG elements, and both are somewhat overshadowed by Apex Legends, but we'll see how The Division 2 does. But given that it's not a new IP, I imagine anyone that enjoyed The Division 1 will end up buying The Division 2, and it'll be doing okay. Up next, Black Desert Online is celebrating their 3rd anniversary this week and is giving away free copies of the game in probably the most fun way ever. Anyone can score a free copy of Black Desert Online by downloading it and playing the free trial and killing 5 enemies in the game's Battle Royale mode called Shadow Arena. Besides free copies of the game, there are other rewards and freebies up for grabs as well, but it seems like an interesting way to get people to try Black Desert Online without making it outright free. But as is, it's practically free to play already because they've had so many ways to get the game for free. You just download and play the Battle Royale mode and get a free copy of the game. The next and last bit of news this week comes from Bethesda regarding their upcoming free-to-play mobile RPG titled Elder Scrolls Blades, which will begin beta testing sometime in early spring. The closed beta will be under NDA, so you won't be seeing much of it on YouTube or Twitch. The upcoming closed beta will be for iOS only, but the game is clearly making strides towards full release soon, as now they're finally doing some beta testing. I expect that ESO Blades launches this summer, but that's just my guess. Anyway, guys, that's it for MMO news this week. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the podcast. Should be fun. Later, guys.